Get ready for spring storms. We'll tell you when they arrive and what the eyewitness saw the night Oklahoma City police opened fire on a 15-year-old. Plus, even after you get the COVID shot, find out what you will still have to do. This is OU Nightly. Hello, thanks for joining us for OU Nightly. I'm Emma Sears.
And I'm Deyton. We begin with a big risk for severe storms this weekend. Mikayla Smith has a first look at the forecast. Mikayla, what's on the radar right now?
Yeah, guys, so we can see we have a live radar over the last hour. We have some storms or some rain a little bit to our southeast of here. Nothing too crazy. We've got some more storms more up in this area. So again, nothing too crazy here tonight. These storms are you can see they're kind of moving around. The big risk tonight is going to be north of Oklahoma City, Enid, Tulsa, and Miami. Nothing too crazy here. Maybe some hail, small hail, nothing insane. And then some winds, but again, nothing too crazy here. It's just going to be some thunderstorms. But coming up later, I can tell you here in Norman when we're going to have some severe weather potential. Our detailed storm zone is going to be coming up later on in the newscast, when we can be expecting that rain Friday and Saturday. And then finally, after all of that rain pushes through, when exactly, maybe we'll get to see that sunshine again. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Mikayla. A bystander speaks out on the fatal shooting of a teenager by an OKC police. Sydney Baulier spoke with this witness and is in the newsroom with the story. Sydney.
Yesterday, 5 Oklahoma City police officers were charged for shooting Savion Rodriguez dead during a suspected armed robbery. Derek Scarcella was right across the street, seeing and hearing for herself what exactly went down. Reluctantly optimistic. That's what Derek Scarcella says following yesterday's charges and the release of video capturing the incident.
I don't feel any differently than I did before. But I think people need to see that. People need to see that he followed orders.
Derek intended to run a late-night errand on November 23rd. She had no clue she was about to witness a 15-year-old boy be shot 13 times by the Oklahoma City police.
It was etched in my brain the second it happened, and it replays in my head probably 50 times a day.
As an onlooker, she was devastated to see what happened in Savion's final seconds.
I didn't think that it would really happen, especially because this kid was doing what he was supposed to do. And so when it went off, it was very jarring.
Although she understands that police are working a tough job, in this case, accountability is key.
And I think to honor what they do is to hold them accountable.
She also believes the lack of resources OKC gives troubled teens leads to a more vicious cycle.
Every single adult along the way failed that child.
Derek felt a plethora of emotions, but she's turning this negative experience into a more productive future.
I have a voice. I have something to say. And I need somebody to listen because I need to turn these emotions into something positive.
Her optimism for justice comes with the release of new evidence with witnesses' video. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Sydney. And today, the White House passed 2 new gun control bills.
Skylar Talal is live in Washington, D.C. with more on that story. Skylar?
Thanks, guys. I'm currently standing outside the Capitol where the House passed 2 separate bills earlier today regarding tightening up gun regulations. The 2 bills will expand background checks and hopefully close the Charleston loophole to make sure no one falls through the cracks. Now these 2 bills will go to the Senate floor to be voted on.
The legislative graveyard is over. H.R. 8 will be on the floor of the Senate, and we will see where everybody stands. No more hopes and prayers, thoughts and prayers. A vote is what we need.
Democrats have said there are ongoing conversations with Senate Republicans to get them to vote yes. These bills are the first act by the Biden administration regarding gun control, which is an issue Biden advocated for during his presidential campaign. There is no date set aside for the Senate to vote yet, but committees are discussing when they're going to be meeting. Reporting live from D.C., Skylar Talal.
Thank you, Skylar. The COVID-19 relief bill has made its way to President Biden's desk. Lauren Johnson has that story and the rest of today's headlines from around the world.
Thanks, Emma. President Biden signed the COVID-19 relief package this afternoon. Congress passed this bill yesterday, sending the bill to Biden early. The package includes a $1,400 stimulus checks, unemployment weekly benefits, funding vaccine research and distribution. Stimulus checks will be hitting the bank accounts as soon as this weekend. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has been downplaying questions about the lag of nursing home COVID numbers since last spring. He stated numbers weren't changed, but has taken some responsibility for the lag. He has also been accused of sexual assault, and now lawmakers are calling for him to resign, and Cuomo's support is incredibly thin.
Abundantly clear that this governor can no longer lead our state. His abusive use of power has been evident, and the damage these abuses have caused have capsized his reputation and the public trust that comes with it.
Cuomo has denied sexually assaulting anyone and has apologized for any harassment. The former police officer that killed George Floyd will be facing third-degree murder charges. Derek Chauvin is facing several charges for George Floyd's murder, and today the judge reinstated the third-degree murder charge, and he will be facing up to 25 years in prison for this charge. Next is the jury selection, and then the trial will start at the end of this month. Matthew McConaughey announced that he is considering running for governor for Texas. He's trying to decide if that's what he wants to do for this next chapter in his life. Deyton, back to you.
Thank you, Lauren. It's been a year since the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a global pandemic. A lot has changed since last March, including the number of people receiving the vaccine. With more Oklahomans vaccinated, the total number of active cases reported is just over 11,600, with 48 new cases. The total death toll in Oklahoma remains around 4,700, according to the CDC.
Governor Stitt announced today that he will lift all of the state's COVID-19 restrictions on Friday. Although Oklahoma never had a statewide mask mandate, Stitt plans on rolling back on restrictions regarding public gatherings and requiring masks in state buildings. Stitt says he will issue an executive order tomorrow that will allow for Oklahomans to, in his words, get their summer back.
And there's a whole new group of Oklahomans who can get their vaccine.
Find out what you still need to do even after you get the shot, coming up. Plus, the Norman City Council has more money for the fight against COVID. We'll tell you who gets it and how it's going to be used straight ahead on OU Nightly. Oklahoma has officially entered Phase 3 in vaccine administrations. OU Nightly's Haley Weger has more on the next steps for the coronavirus vaccine and health.
Along with the one-year mark of the coronavirus officially being declared a pandemic, Oklahoma is now moving into Phase 3 of the vaccine. This time last year, OU students were enjoying spring break with no idea how COVID-19 would change the next year of their lives. Fast forward to today, OU students are eligible to receive the coronavirus vaccine.
A lot of college students getting vaccinated is a great barrier to transmission for COVID and is a great way to support an end to this pandemic.
Oklahoma has entered Phase 3 of the vaccine distribution, meaning teachers and students 18 and older can receive the shots.
We're very excited about moving into Phase 3. I mean, it's an indication that our supply has improved. It's an indication that we have vaccinated a lot of Oklahomans. It's an opportunity to vaccinate a lot more Oklahomans.
One OU student has seen hundreds of young people get tested for coronavirus and is excited those people finally have the chance to get the vaccine.
So this past semester I worked at ME. We tested a lot of people. Obviously it's in Norman, so we tested a lot of students, and it's super exciting that now they're able to get the vaccine, and hopefully school and everything else will be back to normal soon.
Whether or not you have received the vaccine, it's important to follow other safety precautions to stop the spread.
We want to remind everybody about the 3 W's. You know, wear a mask, wash your hands, watch your distance, Don't forget about that, because we're still at a pretty high risk time right now where we could easily see a resurgence. So we just want to put that precaution out for everybody.
OU students and faculty can sign up online to get the vaccine at Goddard or other sites off campus. And there will also be a clinic on Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Oklahoma Children's Hospital for the first round of the Pfizer vaccine. Deyton and Emma, back to you guys.
Thank you, Haley. The Norman City Council approves a $55,000 allocation for COVID-19 vaccinations. Mayor Clark says the funds will be allocated from the CARES Act to provide free vaccinations for target areas. She hopes it makes the vaccines equally available for everyone, including residents without transportation or the homeless. They will use the Pfizer vaccine for most and the Johnson & Johnson single-shot vaccine for the homeless.
The city of Norman is honoring those who lost their lives to COVID-19. Find out how straight ahead on OU Nightly.
Rain, hail, Mikayla, what can we expect with the weather this weekend?
Yeah, I'm going to give you guys a detailed look of when we're going to be expecting that rain, where it's going to be, and how bad it's going to be coming up shortly. Welcome back to OU Nightly. You can take a current look at our OKC skyline cam. We can see there's a few clouds here in the sky. You may even experience a little bit of drizzle earlier on this morning. That's because our current temperature was sitting about 56, but our dew point today has been less than 10 between our temperatures. So that's why maybe this morning you experienced a light shower or something. And that's because this difference. Now we can see our current temperature across the state. Right here, you can kind of point out and see we had a small cold front move on early this morning now. Just dropped us down a little bit to 56, so not a huge difference between Armour, but we can kind of look down here and see Idabel, some of our places in the southeastern portion of the state are a bit warmer than we are for the central portion of the state. Now, lows tonight across, we're going to be 63 here in Norman. We're going to be a bit chilly out there in Guyman, so kind of see a wide variety of temperatures we have going on for the state tonight. Now, highs tomorrow, that cold front is going to move slightly back up, so it's going to be stationed right around Norman, and with that, that's going to give us a chance for some storms. Now we can take a look at our severe weather outlook for tomorrow. We have a slight risk for a big portion of the Texas Panhandle, but it's going to extend into the western portion of Oklahoma, Woodward and Elk City. So with this, we're going to be expecting there is a chance for some larger hail, some strong wind, and we can't rule out a tornado or two. Now we're going to go ahead and look at our future radar. We can see down here we had some of that rain go on today, but tonight, like we talked about earlier, this portion, so Tulsa, Miami areas, you may see a storm or two, nothing crazy severe, but we can see that overnight, late tonight into tomorrow morning. We're going to have the next round of storms move in early Friday morning. But take a look out here in the Panhandle. We have a few severe weather, some kind of storms going to be popping up, and those are going to be working their way into western Oklahoma tomorrow. Now, as they move into Oklahoma tomorrow, they are going to be decreasing a little bit. So nothing as crazy, but we are going to be keeping an eye on those. And then again into Saturday. Now, for Saturday, that's a big story here too. Oklahoma City and Norman, we are under a slight risk. Now with that, we can see there's going to be a few storms in the morning, but our main threat is going to be the squall line that is going to be working its way into the state throughout the day. Now, as this gets closer on to central Oklahoma, Norman, and Oklahoma City, it is going to dissipate. But again, with this, we can't take away the aspect of some hail and some rain. Now, for our Saturday tornado threat, again, the main portion of it is going to be into the western portion of Oklahoma. Nothing crazy here in Oklahoma City. We might just have a spin up or two. Future radar, something that might be a little bit crazy with this is rain. Some areas are going to see quite a bit of rain, a nice good soaker for Miami. So we can't rule out some flash flooding for some areas. We have late storms Friday. Saturday, again, we have some more storms, but we're going to start clearing up as we get into Monday and Tuesday next week. The sunshine will come back into us, and then we're going to be nice again with some sunshine and nice temperatures. Back to you guys.
The city of Norman will launch a coronavirus memorial wall to honor victims lost to the COVID-19 pandemic. The wall will be dedicated at a ceremony this Saturday at Reeves Park. It begins at 11 a.m. with a moment of silence for the 144 lives lost so far in Norman. The city invites people to use the wall as a collective place to mourn family and friends lost to the virus.
And a year ago today, sports fans in Oklahoma didn't know that their world would change in an instant.
Grace Burget joins us after the break to tell us more.
Wait, what? I'm so confused. Welcome back to OU Nightly.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. Graduation gear up taking place on campus this week. Students can register to pick up their caps and gowns, class rings, and more in the student union through tomorrow.
This semester event is noteworthy because these students will be the first class to graduate in person since December of 2019. University Events is reminding students to register for their graduation tickets by the end of this week.
We'll be right back after this break.
And welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Grace Burget. 1 year ago today was a monumental day in sports history. The first NBA player tested positive for COVID-19 right in our backyard. OU Nightly reporter Kemper Ball has the story.
As thousands of people gathered inside Chesapeake Energy Arena, they had no idea they were about to witness the beginning of a shutdown. As the Oklahoma City Thunder and Utah Jazz prepared to tip off, a member of the Thunder medical staff darted onto the floor and met with officials, causing tip-off to be delayed.
And that's when Aubrey, who I was with, we kind of looked at each other and we're like, we're not seeing this game. This game's not happening.
After several minutes, the announcement came that confirmed the crowd's suspicions.
Well, tonight has been postponed. You are all safe.
NBA had been telling us to expect it. And then when I ran the test, in my mind, he didn't have any symptoms. And so in my mind, I thought, oh, he's negative. He's going to be negative, and it'll be a big brouhaha for nothing. But the head doc for the NBA said, now, Jim, assume he's positive. So I called up the trainer for the Thunder and told him that there was a player that was being tested on the other team and that I wanted him to prepare in case something happened.
Just moments before the game was scheduled to start, they got the results. Jazz center Rudy Gobert was the first NBA player to test positive for COVID-19.
I didn't have any idea of what the magnitude of that one test was. But, just like he said, it shut everything down after that one positive test at a game.
What happened on this day last year sent a shockwave through the sports world, causing every major sports league to halt activity almost immediately and remain that way for months.
This is obviously something big, or the start of something big. Like, this is the tip of the iceberg. And then at that, the next day I was told I'm not coming back to work.
After 4 months, the NBA returned in a single location in Orlando, referred to by most as the bubble. The Thunder and the rest of the league were able to finish their season, but more importantly, they brought sports back to all who had been waiting. Now, a year later, the Thunder are back in the peak for a new season, but without one of the league's loudest fan bases. After announcing that the team would finish the season without spectators, both the fans and players are anxious for the energy to return to the arena.
They're more than ready to have fans back because, they really feed off the fans. And so the home court isn't a home court advantage as much anymore.
I'm ready. I'm ready to see the new team, the new coach. I'm ready to see I don't know, I'm excited. It just feels like a whole new beginning for the team. So in that, it seems really fitting, but I'm very excited to get back.
The fans may not be in the stands this season, but the connection between the team and the city is stronger than ever. Kemper Ball, OU Nightly.
Well, that's it for sports. Now let's send it to the newsroom for an update from Bailey.
I'm Bailey Coyle at the OU Nightly Update Desk. The Cleveland County District Attorney has decided to decline files charged in the fight involving Spencer Jones on the campus corner fight February 16th. The District Attorney Office received the completed investigation that included reports, videos, witness statements, and other documents on March 9th. That's it for now. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Bailey. And it's been looking pretty gloomy out today.
Yeah, Mikayla, is there any chance for severe weather this weekend?
Yeah, so I want to touch again on Saturday. So we're going to have that squall line that's going to make its way into the state. The highest chance for tornadoes is going to be in Elk City, Lawton. So the western portion of Oklahoma is where we're going to have that medium chance. But as those storms are going to work their way into our area here in Oklahoma City, Norman, that way, those storms are going to weaken some. So that's why we're only going to have a low potential here for a tornado. We can't rule out any severe weather altogether. Might be some hail, some strong winds, but again, we're not expecting anything too crazy tornado-wise here. The main threat is going to be to the west. Now, after these storms clear out there, we're going to have a beautiful Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The rest of next week, we're going to be back in the 60s, have that sunshine back in. So again, it's going to start to feel really nice, and we're going to be able to just go out and again and enjoy that weather. Back to you guys.
Thank you for watching OU Nightly, brought to you live by Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night at the same time, same place. Good night.